Well, hello, hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to Let's Talk About It, Steph. Today is Thursday, and we're going to do Girl Talk. And I have with me Sabrina, and let me tell you, she's a bad one. She has her own company and she's a tech guru in AI. And I'm telling you, the future is going to AI. And I want y'all to meet her. But today, we're going to be doing this little chit chat called Girls Talk. We women go through so much different things and we wear so many different things on our shoulders, and we also have to make sure we're a mama, a wife, a girlfriend, or whatever. We got to do it all and be the boss. So let us introduce Serena. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much for inviting me on a hot day to be on a nice, cool live show right now. Girls Talk. Let's do it.
So, how you loving this weather?
Oh my goodness, it's so hot in Texas. But let's crank the heat. That's what Girls Talk is all about. Sometimes it's just a little chit chat, but sometimes we can go into deep topics, right? So wherever it takes us, because we're not just a surface level kind of people, right? Women our
Right.
age and our level can have some really amazing conversation and hopefully motivate other people to join us, our amazing circle.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So we're gonna get into this. Okay, so we developed this new thing, y'all. I know I'm always doing something different, but I wanted to reach out to our wonderful warriors, our ladies. Sometimes we just overwhelmed. We're always trying to be the boss. We're always I don't care if you work at McDonald's, girl, you're a boss. Don't even worry about it. You flipping burgers, being a cashier, whatever it is that you're doing, you are a boss. And I wanted to create this segment to where we're just talking to women and just talking amongst ourselves. And we're kind of like releasing some of that extra energy that we can't always release, and we always have to be the strong one. And y'all, we have to check up on our girlfriends that are always saying I'm all right, and she's not all right. There's
Mhm.
always something going on, so we want to make sure that we do something that is just for you. It's all about her, because you know what, this world, I don't care what these men say, this world cannot run without us. We rule the world, as Beyonce would say.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is so true. No matter what your profession would be, as long as you go out there, you crank it up, you work really hard, and you take care of your family. You are the boss of your own. But then at the same time, it is truly the kind of world where we have a lot of pressure, not only to do things right by our family, but also by our profession. At the same times, we need to take care of our mental health as well. So it's very important that we need to have that kind of balance in our personal space as well. Taking care of mama is also taking care of everybody else, right?
What? Yes, yes. So tell me, how do you do work balance?
For the longest time, as the women in tech for about almost 20 years, it is never really an easy task. Especially for the last 6 year, I am still a single mom. So now that's even harder to work full-time jobs and running several different companies, right? At the same time, taking care of a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old at home.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes I do have to take a mental break. And like yesterday, it's funny because I work for myself and I work nighttime, I work weekend, and then suddenly yesterday I hit the wall. And I was just so overwhelmed. So I actually took myself to the Dallas Arboretum by myself, just walk around for 2 hours in the heat, mind you. Let it all off, and then come to Jesus and say, you know what? That was enough. It was hot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good now. I'm good now.
You know what? I totally get it. So I'm gonna tell you. So I'm a diabetic, right? And
Mhm.
they have been like, "Hey, we need you to walk at least 30 minutes a day. Just walk, walk, walk." And yesterday I was just really bummed because I injured my shoulder and I'm
Mm.
getting ready to have surgery soon. So
Mm.
my husband decided to take me all over the place. We were all over DFW yesterday, even though I had all this other things to do. And he took me to the Galleria Mall. I perked up like it was Christmas. I was like,
That
"You're
girls and
happy?"
shopping never get old.
Yes. And I told him, and he started laughing at me. He's like, I said, if they wanted me to walk, all they had to say was take me to the mall. I'll walk you all over this place.
Oh man. No, I love it. I love how you guys really help each other out, and just really a powerful couple. I met your husband the other day, right? And it's just dynamic duo. It just tells me, even though I'm a single mom, like I definitely look forward to having that couple life, because I think whether you're with a romantic partner, I think it's very important to surround yourself with your own village, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's girlfriends, it's family members, your romantic partner, or just regular friends, right? I don't think that we built to be alone. And sometimes, even though in a lot of situation we are alone, don't get me wrong, and we're not gonna have an immediate person to talk to, or to call, or to text, or to cry on, right? But
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, maybe like, half an hour later, or at the end of the day, we still have somebody to support us, see us for who we truly are. and
Uh-huh.
and and that is super important, because nobody can just run through life alone.
I'm telling you because I'm gonna tell you, my husband and I have been married for 25 years, going on 26 years,
Amazing.
and he's a retired military person. So we lived that life, and I was in management for a retail company,
Hmm.
and it was like you would have thought I was the one that was in military because it seemed like I was always gone. I always had to go to this place, that place, this place because they were sending me all over the place,
Hmm.
and we had a small young family, and it was hard. So,
Hmm.
ladies, I'm gonna tell you, it's definitely hard. Even if you're married, it's definitely
Hmm.
hard because you want to be there in your kids' life. And sometimes you can't be in their life because you're so busy with everything else. But
Hmm.
it can be done. But I can say I have a good husband that supports me. And even so, I have a good community of people that are surrounded around me, like
Hmm.
my family and my sisters. They are my community, and I have a host of different friends that kind of like help support me. Especially it's not that physical support that you need. It's almost like you need that spiritual support, that the
Yep.
emotional support from your female friends that you
Yep.
can just keep going. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so funny because you talk about female friends. Back in the day, I was such a tomboy, like in college, I just hang out with guy friends a lot, and I just stay away from like girls' dramas. And don't get me wrong, at any given age, even at my daughter's level, is like 7 year old, right? They
Uh-huh,
still have a little drama. So I
uh-huh,
always like think about like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from the drama. But as I grew older, I realized that it's not about the drama that I stay away. It's about the wrong people that I want to stay away,
mhm,
and the type of negativities that I don't want to be part of. But then so I started recognizing that pattern of like, I don't want to go there. I want to surround myself with positivity, the right girlfriends. That's where I actually shine better, because now I'm like, okay, if I have the right girlfriends, where they not just give me advice when I actually just need a shoulder to cry on. Those
mhm.
are the type of girlfriends that know me and understand when they can give me advice, or when they just shut up and just listen to me cry for a good solid 5 minutes, right? That's really
Right. Because you're so right. Because don't we need just 5 minutes to just cry and then we're fine? We just bounce back like, okay, I'm ready to take on the world. Just give
that's
me, give me a minute to pull it together.
Yeah, and like, and we are in that situation too, where we're the sound one giving advice to the ones that need to have a good cry, right? You know, in your head what you need to do, but in that situation, you can't help it, right? You just need a way to let your emotion to run its course, right? And
Yeah,
somebody to listen. We need just one audience at that point, one
yeah,
audience. I don't need
yeah,
much. Just one audience. Just sit there
yeah.
and listen to me cry. And I know what you're gonna say after, but let's just get me that 5 minutes. Give me that 5 minutes. That's it.
Exactly. Because I'm gonna tell you, you just need one good friend.
Hmm.
You don't have to talk to her all the time because I have a best friend that lives over in Louisiana, and I can call her right now and
Hmm.
say, "Hey, I need you." She's right there. We
Yep.
don't talk all the time. I know we've gone months without talking,
Hmm.
and she is like she picks up on me, I'll pick up on her energy, and I'm like, girl, okay, let me have it. What's going on? Why are you
Hmm.
upset? Because I feel your energy way over here. We're 400 miles away. What's
Hmm.
going on? you
Yeah.
know and you
Yeah.
have to have that. You have to be in a safe space with just
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
person. You don't need a whole group of people. You don't need the sister circle. You just need one person that you can rely on, that you can feel comfortable with sharing something. You know she gonna take it to the grave, because Lord knows I'm taking a lot of stuff to the grave. They're gonna have to give me an extra large casket because I'm taking a lot of stuff with me.
Yep. I think that's the same. Like a girlfriend of mine, same situation. My best friend, I have, that's funny. I have two best friends. One's
uh,
in Vietnam, right? One in Detroit, right? They so
okay.
far away from Texas. But, and we don't talk every single day. But when we need each other, we can still always pick up the phone call, and they can always listen to my voice and know that I need help, or, and vice versa, right? And the thing is that, like, after, I would say, I think somewhere it's a 7 years, you no longer friends, you're family, you sister now, right?
Exactly,
Right. And
exactly.
then the type of friends and sister and best friends that you need are the one that never going to judge you. Now, of course, they're gonna be real with you in certain situations, like, girl, that dress is not gonna serve you right in this situation, right? And they will be frank, and they'll be like, oh, you hurt my feeling, but okay, you know what, you want me to shine, so I'm gonna change. You know?
Exactly.
But it's about that kind of realness that you develop after a long period of time, and by the time that you reach over 7 years, at this
Uh-huh.
point, like, nothing's gonna hurt me or hurt you. Like, whatever you say, I know that you said it in good faith, right? You have
Mhm.
my back, you have my best interest at heart. It's not to hurt me, right? It's, you just want to, like, girls, your hair is crazy today or something.
Don't even get me started. I have one girlfriend, and she'll sit up there, and I promise she's like, girl, we need to go to the wig store. That ain't working. You ain't finna embarrass me out here looking like that. We going to
Mhm.
the wig store, so I hope she is. Looks, if she sees me now, she's gonna be like, "Now, Stephanie, you know we gotta change this, right? You can't be out here looking like this." And I'm like, "This my summertime hair."
Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, that's so funny because my girlfriend in Detroit, right? Because
Uh-huh.
we're so far away, so a lot of time we had to FaceTime. And
Okay.
I always like so low maintenance when it comes to hair. But she's African American, so I don't know. I mean, she's my best friend. I don't have a lot of friends that are African American, but she's my best friend. So I
Uh-huh.
only know her that she spent tons of hours on her hair and her makeup. Is that like a normal thing for you guys? I don't know. But anyways, it
Girl,
all
that's not normal because I don't do that.
oh, okay, all right. So it's not, and that's not a racial thing. So I am not sure, but she's also she's like a fashionista, and she's
Okay.
very much like, okay, I know what looks good, right? So I always know to go for advice, like fashion advice, like makeup advice. One
Right.
time, right? I was like, I just need some really good hair. Like, how do you do your hair? It looks so good. And
Uh-huh.
so she walked me through how to curl my hair right. And I thought, oh, it's just curling iron, no big deal. And she walked me through, pin this one over here. And mind you, we do this through FaceTime, okay? And I was like, this is so much work, Brittany. And she's like, trust the process. It's only been 5 minutes and you already complain. Imagine I've been doing this like for 3 hours. So you're gonna have to stick with this. You already have roller in your hair. Like you can't pull out now. You're gonna have to keep going. So then 20 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, all right. Now I start taking the roller out, and I'm like, ooh, okay, I like this. I can do this. And now, technically, it's like the other signature hairstyle, other than like putting it up like this. The other one, like bouncy, curly, that's the other signature of mine now. And thanks to her, right? We need that kind of girlfriends. Like, you're gonna have to trust me on this process here. I'm gonna sit you down and tell you what's up.
See, we all need to have that one friend that's that fashionista that's gonna tell you the truth. Because don't have me coming out here looking like who did and what for and why. I'm like, you gotta have one friend. If you don't have a good mirror, you got to have one good friend that's gonna tell you, girl, don't you
Mhm.
wear that no more. I had
Mhm.
one, I don't know, I love this particular jacket and I just loved it. And I had this friend, she was like, I was running for office last year, and she's like,
Mhm.
I'm throwing that jacket away. I'm like, no. She said, you cannot wear that jacket. So we're down there in El Paso, and I sneaked the jacket into the suitcase, and I was gonna put it in. And she was like, no, you cannot wear that. You got beautiful arms. Now you can go out there and go strut and go take that jacket out. Be you. And I'm sitting up here like, but I like my jacket, So
Mhm.
but it's awesome to have a good friend that just tells you, hey, that don't look good.
I think, remember, like, I just talked to you about how you look amazing the very first time I saw you in that hot pink jumpsuit, and that energy just shined through, even though you were standing there by yourself. But I love that whole energy, that whole fashion look. I mean, it was just like commanding the space, and that actually, I literally had like a solid 30-second thought about it. And mind you, I have ADHD. I spent anything more than 30 seconds, like, that is worth thinking about. And I thought about your fashion at that point. And I know that usually I'm also about like dressing up, doing hair and everything. But
Mhm.
that moment, I never really told you this, but it actually gave me a little bit more thought into how to use fashion as the communication way, nonverbal communication of like how you commanding your space. What do you want people to look at you like? What kind of message you get out there in the world without saying a word, right? And
Right.
that pink jumpsuit say a lot about how graceful, how powerful, how interesting you are. And I was almost like walking over and talking to you, and then we did anyway, right? So that was great. So.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I love that pink.
That pink, I never really a hot pink kind of girl, but my daughter who's 7, she like her room literally like just pink Barbie throw up everywhere, every corner, right? So gradually, I'm like, okay, I'm not a pink hater anymore. I can come on board. I can jump on this pink wagon, and it's actually cute. Like, especially that jumpsuit, right? It was feminine, but it was also powerful at the same time, which is really odd. Pink is always kind of like girly, but with the jumpsuit look, it's like powerful, right? It's
Yes.
like Barbie to the White House.
Well, I love that. Thank you so very much. You have when you're out in public and of course my mom was the first lady. My father, my late parents, they were in the ministry, so it was like I always had to look a certain way,
Mhm.
and I just love the way how these first ladies look because they
Mhm.
always look very sharp. And
Mhm.
my mother used to say, Always be ready because you never know. And they always tell you, make sure you wear a pair of clean underwear because you never know what's going to wind up happening, right?
Okay, what about no underwear? I'm just kidding.
Don't be going outside wearing dirty drawers. Make sure you have on a clean pair of underwear and always be ready because you never know what could possibly wind up happening,
Hmm.
which is true, which
Yep.
is true. So that's my take back from, growing up is that you always look your best in whatever position, ladies, that you're trying to go for, you know, always look the part. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you, like I said earlier, if you're trying to work at McDonald's, Burger King. I think we boycott McDonald's right now, but if you're going to anywhere, always look that part and be assured of yourself. Hold
Hmm.
your chest up and do your strut and go on in there. Because you got this. You got
Hmm.
this, sis.
Hmm.
You got this. You worked hard. You know what you're doing, and you got it. And if you don't know what you're doing, fake it till you make it.
Absolutely agree. I was told today that I look like an Asian Jackie O.
I can see that.
That's so
I can
funny.
see that.
But I do like just recently though, because I still kind of like want to, even though I'm 42, I
Ooh,
still
okay.
want to look young, and I used to dress very young, like younger looking. And then
Uh-huh.
I realized that I don't want to be that kind of young communicate communicate that I'm that kind of young. I actually want to look sophisticated. So now I start dressing up a lot more in that kind of style, right? Like I wear a lot of pearls. I love pearls, and I have my hair up and everything. Because I actually love to channel like the back in the day where women, regardless, even if they were at home, they still very much well put together. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we have to be like housemaker, like just stay at home cooking everything and looking flawless. I'm not saying that at all. Like we have a
Uh-huh.
lot more freedom than our parents' generation, our grandparent generation. But
Yeah.
I don't know the kind of sense of style. I just feel like yes, it is more kind of free now, but
Uh-huh.
I still feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a little old school, but I don't want to look like just rolling out of bed and then just walk out. Like I want to make sure that, and when I walk out with a purpose, right? I want to present myself with the best light possible because you never know whom you're running into, right? And
Mm-hmm.
who actually would look at you and judge you. Not saying that you have to pay attention to everybody else judging you, because you're your own person. If you confidence enough, no matter what people think of you,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't matter. But then that just means that it has to start from you, right? Like I
Right.
need to be able to shine on my own regardless of what people think of me. And that means waking up every single day, brushing my teeth, put on the right like clothes that make me feel confident, and then go about your day.
Okay. Yes, that works. So let's move on to this love and growing women. We grown women here, you
Hmm.
know. So how you said you're single? Yo,
Hmm.
she's single. She's ready to mingle. How is it that how can you be single and be a
Oh,
boss at
you
the
know what? Everybody asking for that, and I think I'm single by choice. I definitely have people approach me quite a bit, and I know not trying to toot my horn or anything, but I'm a catch, right? I dress up decently, I look decently, I'm successful, I have my own career, I have my own place. I don't have any debt, every I'm a approachable person. But I think that after I go through my divorce, and I realized the one principle that I'm never gonna negotiate in life is to meet the people that at my same caliber or higher. That
Mhm.
means I'm not gonna settle for less. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about the kind of men that I want in my life will have to also be that kind of bring that same energies that I bring to the table. And
Okay.
don't get me wrong, I'm a lot to handle, okay? But I want that kind of energy, and I'm not going to settle until, I find that person, or else, what, I'm okay with being on my own. I have my girlfriends, I have my trips, I have friends all over the world. Like, not saying that I don't need anybody, but I'm not going to settle for anything less just because. So yeah, that's basically, like, I'm waiting for the right one to come along. Otherwise, I'm happy, on my own.
You know what? I have three sisters, and all three, except for maybe one, may be single.
Mhm.
And they're like, I'm taking my time. I'm not in a hurry because this is the expectation I have. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of us women have this list, and
Mhm.
it's crazy that you say that because we were watching a movie. My husband and I was watching this movie, and he was like, "Did you have a list?" I said, yeah. And then I wound up throwing the list away and got stuck with you.
No, I think that is so true, because absolutely there's time in my life where I always have the list. I think we would lie to ourselves and to others that women have no list. Come on now. Like,
You
we
do.
we always have the list back in our head, probably in our purse, in our phone somewhere. Other than groceries list, right? But I think with the right person, even if it's just the right person at that moment, right? I think
Uh-huh.
if the chemistry, the vibe is going well, and they at that point can support you, can meet you, mind, body, spirit, everything works, then that list no longer exists. I do think that is true as well, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, oh, it's just like Mr. Right now versus Mr. Right forever, right? I mean, who knows? But for a given period of time, maybe you can walk through life with that person because they are there at the right time, at the right moment, and the energy is right. And then unfortunately, faith also play it course too, right? So sometimes it doesn't work out for a certain reason, but I think I stay true to myself. So regardless, I know that walking away alone or together with somebody else, I mean, I'm just gonna be that goofy person, just high caliber also. But it is something that a single person like me would struggle sometimes. List or no list.
I listen, I totally get you. I totally get it because I'm telling you, when I was on the market, I'm like, I had a list. This is what I wanted. And then unexpectedly, this person decided to ask me out for coffee. And I just kept turning him down. I'm like, I'm 20 something years old. Coffee is for old people, right?
Oh my
And
gosh.
that was before we had Starbucks in our area. I was in
Mhm.
a time, yes, they didn't have Starbucks over there. We just had regular old coffee at the donut shop. But I went ahead and went out with him and stuff, but it was like he was completely opposite than
Mhm.
what I had on my list.
Mhm.
And it was like he gave me what I needed, not what I wanted. He gave me what I needed, and I
Mhm.
needed to be able to have a strong person that
Mhm.
I can rely on. That I can actually depend on. Don't tell me that you're gonna be here and then you're not. And I needed somebody that was gonna be emotionally available for me because I know sometimes my husband like, well, you go call your girlfriends. Quit telling me. Because I sit there
Mhm.
and I tell him all the stuff that's going on in my head, and I know half the time he's probably thinking about football.
Mm. It's so funny because I think this is maybe just me and my personal circle and experiences and stuff. The stronger a person, a woman is, the more they want to be that kind of person that need to be taken care of in
Right.
personal life, right? Like, I'm
Right.
already strong out there in the world. Coming back home, I just want a man to take care of me.
Right.
I don't know whether, like, I mean, like, I'm not saying that, oh, well, no, I have to be strong at home. I don't know, because I still want to be baby. I still want to be, taken care of, rubbing my feet, cooking a
Yes.
meal. I'm not saying every single day, because I'm a terrific cook. You should come over, by the way. But
Let me
sometimes,
tell you.
cook a meal, clean the house, rubbing my feet, something like that.
Yeah, because you know what? You just hit a point right there. Okay, so a lot of my friends, they're like professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're on these jobs that demand women, you have to be strong,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm tired of, because you can't cry in front of no guys because then they'll call you weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you get home, you just want to be a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, you just want to
Yep.
be able to, you want to just relax and you like, hey, give me a glass of wine or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, pamper
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit. I had a hard day. I know you did too. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to feel like a lady because I'm gonna tell you, I did the Hillary Clinton thing, honey, and I was wearing pants. I refused to wear a dress. I will always wear pants or a pantsuit or something like that
Mm-hmm.
because in business, you have to have that strong image that you're in control, and especially when you are around a bunch of men, you have to
Yep.
fit that. You can't be soft, you know. So you're always in that type of outfit, right? But when you
Mm-hmm.
get home, you're like, I just want to be in my moo or something like that, or in something just comfortable. Let me be a girl. Hey, you take on. I've been having the weight of the world on my shoulders. Now I want you to come on and pick up the weight. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I know a lot of single women are like, I don't have that. And I'm like, sometimes you just gotta go fix yourself a hot bubble bath and get your
Yep.
wine anyway and just
Mm-hmm.
relax and be that person to yourself, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. And that's totally like yesterday. That's what I did. I took myself to the arboretum because I was really stressed out. I hit a wall on something that I faced at work. And instead of like lashing out on people that I work with, right? I'm like, guys, I'm gonna take a mental day. And because I'm single, so I'm not gonna be able to call anybody and say, "Hey, meet me at the arboretum." So I
Uh-huh.
went and by myself. That's my hot bubble bath. I mean, it was hot outside, so I'm sweating. So feel
Yes.
like a hot bubble bath minus the wine.
Portable fan.
But yeah, I think as long as you take care of your mental health, because it's so, like it says, like this is really full circle when we talk about it at the very beginning, right? Like
Uh-huh.
we have so much expectation, there's so much pressure on women these days. Because think about it, back in the day, women are only at home taking care of the family, cooking, cleaning, all that stuff, not
Yeah.
discounting the fact that they're doing so much work at home. Because I mean, I can't do the housewife work at all. Like that's just not me, right? I give all the credit, all the money. Like if I have to, I would trade that like for work. But because these days there's like we have to also making money, we have to do a lot of things, and sometimes we put ourselves last. Actually, no, I said it back. Most of the time, women, we are caring feet creature. We put ourselves last. We put our husband, our kids, our parents, our friends first and foremost. And we always feel like, you know what, I can take care of myself later. But that later never comes. And then it's like, end up biting you in the ass, right? Pardon my French.
Won't it no?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I definitely understand exactly where you're coming from because that happened to me, you know, to where I'm always a strong one, always taking care of everybody, right? And then I just felt like, okay, God just done knocked me on my butt. I wound up getting sick just to slow down, just to
Mm-hmm.
slow down so I can breathe. And sometimes, you know, you feel all that pressure. You got pressure from your job, you got pressure in your household because everybody is expecting you to be there, you know. And then it's like you really can't explain it to your girlfriend sometime because they don't get it because they expect you to go with them to this place, that place, do this and that. And sometimes you can't, and you just not so much physically tired, you're mentally
Mm-hmm.
tired. And I'm gonna tell you, when I took a mental break, I guess that's why my shoulders out because the universe said you need to take a time out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I literally crashed. I was like, I'm just tired. I'm just mentally drain because every little thing will just make you irritated. The
Yep.
sun, it was too much sun, that irritated me. I
Mhm.
didn't like how my car was running. That irritated me. It was nothing wrong with my car. It was fine. It was just me. And then, let's not talk about going through those stages, those health, because I'm 54, believe it or not. And your body goes through changes that
Mhm.
your mama didn't tell you that
Mhm.
you're gonna be going
Mhm.
through changes and that you're just basically gonna be crazy for 10 years.
I feel like I've been crazy for the last 10 years already.
Oh, you just wait. You just wait. When you're sitting in a room and you got the fan on and you got a comforter on you and your significant other or your kids looking at you like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I'm hot cold. Leave me alone. Give me some ice. Let me chew on some ice. We go through
Oh my god.
things, but it's so important that we just kind of like get that mental break. Like you
Mhm.
said, you went to the mall and to the old marina. Just you gotta give yourself some space, some time just to breathe. I
Mhm.
like, y'all. I do like doing this. I don't know why, but I like taking my shoes off and going outside into the grass and feel
Me
like
too.
grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love that. I love that feeling. That actually, I think I read it somewhere that in Japan or China, they do that as a way to stress release, right?
Yeah.
And I started doing that also, and I'm like, okay, I can get on board with this. That actually feels really nice, really good.
It's
Just
the best feeling ever between that and going to the lake. I'm an Aquarius, so I love water.
oh my gosh,
Can't
yes.
swim, but I love water.
Mhm. No, me too. Me too. I definitely love to be in the water, and I was born in the year in the Asian, like or whatever sign it is. Actually, like I was born in the year of water, and it not just any water. It's like an ocean of water.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so they said my horoscope reader, and I'm not gonna go into this. It's not religious or anything, but it's just like something a lot of Asian people do is to read horoscope and like tell you about your life and everything. But they said that like for me, yes, I also need to be by the water, like near the water, just be submersed in that. All else, my emotion would be like just irregulated.
Yes, that's like, we're when we're so I guess we're so universal spiritual and don't even know it. That's why we can tell when things are off
Mm-hmm.
because we're so in tune with Mother Earth. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like you need that balance in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, I go out there and I'll go put my feet out there, especially like when it's just dark outside. I already know serve right there and make sure I'm not stepping in no ant bed. But
Mm-hmm.
I go out there and put my feet in the grass and just be like, whew, just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's okay if you don't have grass and you may live in an apartment. Go get some of those little artificial grass and put your feet out there and
Mm-hmm.
just relax and just take you 5 minutes. Just breathe.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm,
I'm telling you, like we were talking earlier, go check on your friend girls that's saying that I'm okay because when she's saying there's a difference, there's a I'm okay and then
mhm.
I'm
Yep.
okay.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, girl, I'm okay. You have to check on them okays because sometimes those okays is not okay.
Yep.
So it's the strong one that's always out there helping everybody and showing up for everything and taking care of the community and
Mhm,
they need help. It's okay to go check on them. Go check on them and see if they're really okay. Cause I have a friend girl, she's like, that okay? Ain't okay. What's and I'm like, oh, I'm okay. What's wrong? And
mhm.
I'm like, okay, this. And once I get it off my chest, then I feel cool.
Yep.
So, girls, we gotta take care of each other and look
Yeah.
out for each other because this world is crazy. Is being ran over by a bunch of people that don't have what we have, you know, and
Mhm.
they think they know everything and they don't. So a lot of times we take on their extra stuff and we don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go take a minute to yourself and then give them an action plan how they can control everything. Because
Mm-hmm.
right now, we rule the world. We really do.
Definitely. And I think also, like, obviously, on the daily basis, we're so busy with everything. And sometimes we just have to take care of ourselves the best way we know how. But
Uh-huh.
one little kind of treat that I always love to do is to get together with my girlfriends sometimes and have like a Sunday brunch where we actually like
Yes.
dress up. And okay, I kid you not, maybe it's just me, but when you dress up nicely and get together and have a mimosa, the world is so different.
Okay, so you making me feel crazy. Well, I don't feel so crazy now because I just have this thing. I just want to have on a big old hat and a
Yes.
sunglasses. Be like, what is that Netflix movie that was on? My daughter loves it. It usually comes on during the summertime, and it's like this English movie show series that comes on, and they're all dressed up elegantly, and they drinking their little tea and stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of
Down
like what I
Abbey?
want to do, huh?
Down Abbey? Or what? No. Was that an
No,
English show?
it's kind of like an English show. It's something that's on Netflix.
Uh,
What's the name of that show? But
I
anyway,
forgot now, but I think I know what you're talking about. They have a variety of actors, right? From India.
yes,
Okay, I think I know. Oh my gosh, we're brain fart moment. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
because they have different little series of it that the queen is trying to get.
Yes, 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 yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Now
so
I'm gonna have to Google that.
and they should be getting ready to have another series on there coming up this summer sometime. But I
Right?
just want
Right?
to go out and just do that. Just go be girly girl and have some tea. Now I know in DFW era they supposed to have this bus that you can get on and they have all the
Yes,
food
yes,
and
yes.
teas and
They
stuff.
drive around uptown, downtown kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then they have this tea on the. It's like a train, little trolley kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to do that, but I was told I'm reading some of the reviews that it's not that good, but I'm quite sure there's more than just that. Hey, I will
Oh, it's
go.
an experience. You know, it's an
It
experience with your
is.
girlfriend, right?
I just want to get dressed up like that and go sip on some tea or some mimosa and just chill and just hear about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
have some fun. But
Yes.
that's a fun thing to do. Now,
Yes.
okay, so you're a girl boss.
Oh,
When
we
you
are all
started,
right. We all girl boss.
yes. Now, how do you balance work life and being a mom?
Now, that is something I am not proud of. Like, I don't think I ever cracked the code for that. I
Uh-huh.
think as a mom, as a boss, as a business owner, and as a woman, I think I'm still struggling. Doing everything all at once, and you do the best you can, and especially we don't talk about mental health enough, but I do have ADHD, which make it so much harder to like focus on one thing and do it right. So sometimes I have a messy kitchen, I have messy floor, I don't fold my laundry for the same day, things like that.
Uh-huh.
And I think for me at this stage in my life, I have to pick what's more important to me. Whether I spend a little bit more time with my kids before they go to bed and leave the dishes there, I'm okay with that. Right. So
Right.
I have to pick and choose. Someday I would have to do my dishes first. Some days I have to spend time with my kids first. But usually, because my kids are younger, I want and need to spend more time with them more than anything. So at this stage in my life, my kids come first, my career comes second, and then it would be anything else left over, right? So that's how I try to balance that. How about
Um,
you? How about you?
oh, you know what? Well, I'm an empty nester, but I can tell you when I was in management, it was really a struggle. But I had my husband to kind of like lean on. But the one thing that had got me was I was working so many hours. I was working 14, 16 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like when I came home, I helped the kids with their homework. And my best friend would always say I was a drive through queen because I would always drive through somebody's restaurant, pick up dinner, take it home, feed the kids. We doing homework and everything. And it was a struggle for me for a good while. And then one day my husband says, he had to take my daughter to an event at school, and the parents that know me, the other moms, they were there, and it was like, where's Camilla's mom? We always see you. Where's Camilla's mom? Man, that hurts so bad because here you are, you in this role that you bust your butt for to do it, and you have kids and you're trying to spread it everywhere, and sometimes you just can't be everywhere. But I'm like, oh, and he mentioned that to me. He says, you're not always there. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of like, okay, am I putting my job before my family? I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that. So I had to kind of like switch things out a little bit so I could be present, because I thought about that. I didn't want to do the same thing that my parents did,
Yep.
especially mom,
Mm-hmm.
not be present because you're always taking care of something. Like my mother was a first lady. So she worked a full-time job. And when she got her full-time job, she'll go to my dad's restaurant. Or if she wasn't at the restaurant, it was a church functioning that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
or she's helping somebody with their homework. She wore many hats. And I'm like, I don't want to be like that.
Yep.
Want to be that strong woman, but I also want to make sure that my daughter doesn't copy out from me.
Yep.
You get
Yep.
what I'm saying?
No, I it's so crazy that you hit the it's I had the same exact experience growing up. My mom was the breadwinner. She worked long hour when back in the day my parent generation, right? Usually women don't work that much, but
Right.
my mom did. And so my childhood I had to grow up and be that grown adult at 10 years old, right?
You were the junior mom.
Yeah, I was the mom because I have a younger brother. So every single morning I grew up in Vietnam, right? So in the morning I would go to the farmers market nearby my house early in the morning, get groceries for that day because we do groceries every single day, right? Then
Okay.
prep the food for dinner, then take myself to school, then come back, cook dinner, clean, feed everybody at 10 years old, do my homework, help my brother with homework, and then go to bed. And then my mom would be home late because she has to work really late, right?
Hmm.
And I want to break that cycle with my kids also. But I mean, so I was working just like you, right?
Hmm.
14, 16-hour day to the at the corporate job that I had. And then
Hmm.
I realized that this is no longer sustainable for me. So I quit my job and I become an entrepreneur. Now, of course, I'm still working long hours, but I have flexibility in terms of when I need to spend time with my kids. Not saying every woman have that luxury or be in that situation. And to be frank, I think I can't speak for everybody, but majority of people that I know, we all carry that kind of mom's guilt no matter what. Like we
Yes.
don't do enough. We are doing something wrong. We're not setting our kids up for success. And I think over time we have to look at it and say, take it easy. You know, you're doing the best that you can for you,
Right.
for your family. So be easy on you. Don't be too hard. And that's all it can do. So back to your question about balancing, I don't think anybody ever actually cracked the code on that. If anybody cracked the code on that, they'd probably become a millionaire just selling that formula alone, right? But we do
Right.
the best we can, and that's all we know how, and recognize that pattern of not repeating bad things. Like, for example, not bad things, but like what happened in our childhood that we don't want to repeat, for the next generation. That's the best thing that we could do, and do your best. That's it. And hope for the best, really. Like someday you do a piss poor job of being a mother, but try again next day. And that's don't be too hard on yourself. I start letting go of some guilt, like that's all I can do because otherwise there's too much pressure on me.
I listen, I totally understand that because I went through it. And then when you become an empty nester, you start questioning things. I did a whole survey when the last one, when I was my youngest daughter, when she wound up going into the military, and it was just my husband and I'm like, do I even like you anymore? I'm like, what do I do? Because everything was already planned because you got football, you got this thing to go, you got a singing thing to do, you got all this stuff to do, and we were bouncing and shuffling and stuff, and now we're sitting up here like, wait a minute, and now you're tired. I'm like, I don't have any more energy to give, and we have a grand dog, and the grand dog is always with my husband, and I'm like, well, I'm still by myself. And I guess that's why I came up with let's talk about stuff. So I had somebody to talk to. Somebody gonna listen to me because I'm like, I get bored. And I'm like, I feel like I have adult ADHD sometimes because I'm like,
Mhm.
there are just times I'm like, I'm just not going in my kitchen. And my husband knows I avoid that kitchen like the Black Plague. I'm one of those people who have to feel good. I have to be in a really good mood to go in the kitchen. I'm like, I'm cooking a full course meal and stuff. But if I'm not feeling, I'm not going in there. So, ladies, if you don't feel like going in the kitchen, don't go in the kitchen. Don't
That
go in
is
the
so
kitchen.
funny. It's so funny because I'm like opposite, okay? I actually cooking is the way for me to release stress. I love to cook. I teach my kids how to cook, but one thing I hate so much is cleaning. I hate cleaning so much.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, working with one shoulder, I've learned that using a vacuum cleaner is exercise.
Oh my gosh, that's when you question life. Like, what the heck?
I'm like, wait a minute, you mean I could have been doing some stuff with my arm with this vacuum cleaner? I wasn't utilizing it right. But you learn different things. So
Oh
I
my god.
just love it.
When are you going to be off that? Because that is so funny going through life and really question yourself and your capability at this point.
It's still a working thing.
Oh my god.
It's a work in progress, as they say. Um, I'm just like right now. I'm just happy. I'm happy, and where I'm at in life. I think that I did as a mom, and I'm not gonna bring the husband in. I'm like, I feel like as a mom, I did everything I could to make all of our kids successful
Mm-hmm.
as humanly possible. I did everything that I could to make them to who they are today.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for me to kind of like relax.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, even if you do have kids, I would still say yes, we put our kids first, but put yourself first because
Mm-hmm.
if you're down, who's gonna take care of them?
Yep. Yep.
You know, I
Mm-hmm.
get it. I'm like, those that's religious put God first, then yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
you can put if you're in a relationship, then you can put them and then your kids. But sometimes you kind of have to like swap it a little bit and
Yep.
put the kid in front of that spouse or a significant other because your kids are only with you for 18
Yep.
years,
Yep.
you know, and you have to pour into them everything humanly possible, how to fit into the society and how to show them how to protect themselves. Because if you're not pouring it into them, when they get out of your home, they're not going to know
Yep.
how to act. And that's how so many kids want to fall in
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't get the tools that they need to be successful, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying, man, don't get mad at me if you happen to be listening to this. I'm not saying don't put you first, but you also have to do the same thing. You
Yep.
have to put your kids before yourself because before the other person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And if you take care of you first, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
if you're religious, God, yourself, your children, and your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the simple fact is, if you're not right, you can't
Nobody's right.
take care of everybody else.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I think that another girlfriend of mine, she truly believes that do not ever put your her kids first. And it's not saying that she neglect her kids. And in fact, they are actually touring around Europe and having fun right now. But she does live the exact principle that she has so much self love, self care, self respect. That she put upon herself first, and then her significant others, and then her kids would be the last one, because of the same exact principle. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that now, and I agree with you 100% that if you, even with the amount of time that you spent with your kids, make sure it counts, right? Make sure it's not
exactly.
just like, oh, I'm cruising. And I'm guilty of this too, so I mean, I am correcting that every single day, that I'm going to be present when I need to be present with my kids.
Right.
During that time, I also need to be mindful of teaching them and loving them, so that they know that they can go through life with tangible skill set, because school don't always teach them those things, right?
They do not teach those soft skills that they need.
Yep,
They
the
don't.
survival skill, how to cook for yourself, how to fold laundry, how to do laundry, how to do banking, how to do anything, like, how to manage your money, your anything, right?
I'm so glad you mentioned it. I know we're getting close to wrapping this up, but that's one of the discussion that I had with my husband. I'm like, when I was growing up, nobody talked to me about saving.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
didn't talk to, they didn't teach you about your credit. Let me tell you, I didn't know what credit was. I would just go get this, go get them. Like, oh, somebody's gonna pay. I don't know who. Gotta pay it, and I gotta pay it on time. Yes, you gotta pay it on time. So you didn't know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so important for us to teach our kids because I'm telling you, these schools, especially now since Texas and took so much away out
Yep.
of the
Mm-hmm.
education,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be the parents. Y'all have to teach your babies because I'm telling you, they're not going to teach them everything that they need to know. You have to go spend some time with them. Like, I didn't know that they took out cursive. I didn't know that the kids quit writing in cursive. My oldest son, he had to go sign his name. I said, "Oh, sign your name on this paper." And he printed it. I said, "Dude, I need you to sign." And he was like, "I did." I said, "No, in cursive." He goes, "Mom, they didn't teach us how to do cursive. They quit teaching us how to do cursive in the third
Yep.
grade." I said, "Wait, how do you read and understand the Constitution?" That's why we have the problems that we have now because nobody know how to read the Constitution because it's in cursive.
I know. It's so funny because I always been a writer. I love to write, and especially I'm so old school. I love these things where like you can write in cursive, and like with like ink pens, right? So when
Mhm.
I write those things, and I'm still very much old school writing in cursive, none of my kids was like, I can't read this. I don't know what you mean. So now I'm like, okay, I will type it.
Right, right. Or you gotta text it over to them. And I'm
Mhm.
like, we have got to get back to the basic.
Yep.
We have to as parents.
Hmm.
But I just really appreciate you coming on, and
Yes.
we got to do this again. I
Oh,
love this.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think we had such a blast just talking about a lot of different topics that I think it's important to be aware of. And I think there's definitely something that we can drill in the next time, whether it's mental health, whether it's fashion, whether it's wigs to hair, I don't know, or it's like how to teach kids certain things. We can talk about kids like for days,
For
or
days.
husband or significant other. Oh my gosh, that would be a different topic.
Oh, yes, we definitely gonna have to come back and talk about our significant others because sometimes they are hard to deal with. And someone asked me a question. It was like, "How in the world did you stay married?" And the craziest thing, and I told myself, I let my husband be a husband. I let him be a man. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Huh?" I said, "He knows he's the man of the house, and I refuse to go cut the grass."
That's awesome. Sometimes we have to, because that is also a teachable moment. Like, you do your thing. I'm in
Yeah,
my lane, you in your lane, and we join force, and that's what marriage is all about, right? So
it is.
yeah,
It
that
is.
is a topic that I love to talk about. Even though I'm single,
Yes.
I love to talk about that.
Listen, we're gonna have to come back
Mhm.
on another Thursday, y'all. This is something new that we're doing. Is girl talk, and I would love to hear your opinions. And if you're on here, make sure you like and subscribe, and tell your girlfriends, hey, we got another show on. In between you're going to go pick the kids up from school, just be on here and just listening because we're coming back, and you never know, maybe you'll be a guest host.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
yeah, so thank you for coming on. It was wonderful having you on. Great talks.
Oh my gosh, I thoroughly enjoyed today. Stephanie, thank you so much for inviting me on this wonderful talk show, Girls Talk. The next time, hopefully, you know what? I'm looking forward to many more talks from you as an audience as well. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.